supplies national average for regular $3.19 per gallon. That is up 20 cents in just 2 days. I'm Dave Anthony. This is Fox News.
Lawrence County depends on WDXE News on 1951. This is the legend. 105.3, 95.3, WDXE.
That's us. It's time for the Friends and Neighbors Hour, and my friend and neighbor today, and more than a friend, is my good friend, Miss Marilee Johnson. Marilee, how are you?
Hi, I'm quite well, thank you. Thanks for having me on
It was so
here.
good to be with you guys, you and your whole family.
Yes.
All 10 children.
Yes.
Yes. You know, I was thinking, now for those of you who don't know who Marilee is, Marilee and her husband Dwight and family moved here, how many years ago now? Three and a half years ago, something like that. And I got to know them from the very get-go. Became great friends, and of course they moved the Bend Soap Company here, along with their family and some of your friends.
Quite a few. They keep coming.
They keep coming. That's right. And the Bend Soap Company is thriving.
Yes, sir, it is.
And of course, tragically, a little more than a year ago now, Dwight was taken home to be with the Lord, and we miss him greatly. I can't imagine you do. I know you do. But I'm so glad you agreed to come because I'd like to hear your story, the story of you and Dwight, the Bend Soap dream, and just and you know what I was thinking too. As long as I've known you guys, I still can't name all 10 kids. I'm still working on trying to name all 10 kids. So anyway, so Marilee, we won't focus a lot on your childhood, but I want to go. You're not from here,
right?
And of course, we're fascinated to get to know our folks here as much as possible. So. Tell me a little bit about where you're originally from and growing up, and then maybe all the way up to meeting Dwight and how that all happened.
Well, it started actually. Our families grew up together, and so we were both born in Southern California. And my parents met his family the year he was born, that same month.
Okay.
So that was over 50 years ago, 51 years ago. Our families have been very close.
Okay.
And so we grew up in Southern California, but my parents moved my family to upstate New York when I was 7.
Oh, wow.
So I did grow up in upstate New York, but we always came back to California every year. It was just the highlight. You know, we'd had to go to the beach. We had to see the Johnson family and see all the relatives. But
now I've had the privilege of meeting your family, your dad, mom. So what did he do?
My father?
Yeah.
He was a ticketing reservation computer programmer for a local airline. He actually sold different reservation packages to local airlines in the upstate northeast region.
Okay.
So we had several airlines he worked for.
So that was why he moved up there, was
right, for the airlines. Mm-hmm.
Wow. Okay, that's interesting. So you grew up in Upper New York then?
I did. I grew up in the Adirondack Mountains up near. We were about an hour or two from the Canadian border.
Did you ski?
I did not. I never did until, I don't know, maybe 5 years ago. I did my Ridin' 5 class where I actually got on skis 5 days in a row and got my ticket.
All right.
But I haven't been back since because I had a few more babies after that, and it was just, you couldn't go skiing when you're pregnant. At least I couldn't. I know several that do, but I wasn't that good.
Oh my goodness. I've never had the opportunity to do that. I don't think I will now.
Well, you know, the Winter Olympics were in upstate New York one year. They were in Lake Placid.
Oh, that's right.
And we were about, maybe a few hours from there, but we never did.
Oh, wow. How about that?
Kind of expensive sport.
How about that? So you went from staying connected with Southern California.
Yeah.
Going back and forth. What was life like in Southern California?
Well, I mean, back in the day, it was just sort of a busy hubbub of place. There was industrial areas where there was a lot of work going on. My dad worked for City of Hope in their computer IT department, but it got busier and busier, and I think we were glad we had moved out at that time. Yeah. And eventually Dwight and his family moved out. They moved up to Oregon. But Southern California has its charm. The heat, you know, back in the day there were those orange orchards everywhere, the groves.
Yeah.
So we'd run through those and then you'd go to the beach and camp out. But I don't know, the beach is like a mecca now. It's just packed.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy now. So you grew up, it's still knowing Dwight and his family somehow?
Oh yes, we've been very, very close with their family. My parents and his parents were very close.
Okay.
And yeah, so I ended up moving in with their family after college.
Oh, really?
Yep, I was really close with Dwight's sisters, and so I ended up moving in with their family, helping them with doing bookkeeping for one of their businesses and living
Okay.
with them, and it was a great time.
All right. So what was Dwight doing before he really took notice of you?
Oh, that guy. He had such dreams and ideas, and he was all over the place. He worked in their manufacturing company for years and years. They did glass decorating in Southern California. And so
That's interesting in itself.
fascinating.
Yes, the glass decorating. Tell a little bit about that, because that was something that Dwight and his family were doing.
Yes, it's multi-generational. It's been at least 3 generations of ceramic decorating company was the name of the company, and they decorated glass and put decals and screen printing and fired it on the glass. They had these big ovens. So it's pretty cool. They would do business with Grey Poupon, Coca-Cola.
Yeah, so the
Bowman, some
logos
makeup.
and things you see on a glass bottle,
Exactly.
like a Coca-Cola bottle,
Yeah.
that's what they were doing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Wow. I talked to Dwight's dad, Burnell,
Right.
and he was telling me a little bit about all that. I got to visit with him a while back, and that's a fascinating business and
Yeah.
story. It's amazing.
Yeah.
So Dwight was involved in that.
He was, in fact, at a very young age. He was like 19 when he was running the manufacturing for a while.
Yeah.
So he had a knack for it. He loved manufacturing. He loved the process of taking something and developing systems.
Mm-hmm.
He really liked that, and he had a knack for seeing where the revenue could be made. You know, if we do X amount, you know. So he really enjoyed that process. But he felt at that time there was a ceiling for his growth, so he moved on to doing other things.
Yeah. What were some of those other things? Because
Well-
he was fascinating. Of course, I got to know him and you when you first got to Lawrenceburg, and Dwight and I quickly became very, very good friends, as you know,
Yes.
and just one of my dearest friends. And of course, I did get to know a lot about his background then, but the soap company and all that kind of stuff. So I don't want to rush ahead. So, but he didn't start out with the soap company. He started out doing a lot of things.
Yeah, yeah, and he loved you. He loved meeting you. You guys were really close. He dabbled in sales quite a bit. That was his next thing. He would do. He did construction for a while with his older brother in Nevada, and got to know that whole side of things. And he's great at construction. Can do like everything from the ground up.
Yeah.
And then he did some sales. He would go to shows and sell pine furniture, and then weather vanes, metal yard art.
Yeah.
And he just had a way of connecting with people, and he would travel all over and go to these shows, set up the booth. He had this huge gooseneck trailer, like this 40-foot gooseneck trailer. I don't even know if they make them that long, but it was enormous, and he could back trailers and everywhere. I don't know. He just could do all sorts of things, and he had a way with people.
I will say
Really
that,
connected.
that for those who us here, you know, that got to know him on a fairly short-term basis, he never met a stranger.
No.
That's for sure. And you couldn't be around him but a few minutes and just not like him. He was a great guy, a people person,
Yes.
and had a knack for business.
Yes. Yeah.
Was really successful before he ever came here. And before the soap company, before any of that, he had a string of successes going on.
Yeah, he was trying all sorts of different things, and whatever he did, he learned and he grew, and then he would set people in place that could help do what he was doing. He did window washing for a while because there were a lot of young men in the area up in Oregon after
Yeah.
we moved to Oregon. He had a lot of young men who were wanting to start a business. He's like, well, if I was your age, I would do window washing, or I would do this, and well, they weren't intimidated with the process, so he started it for them, and then all of a sudden he had like 6 guys working with him, and it was going crazy. So, yeah,
I would say he was a dreamer, but a
Yeah.
successful dreamer.
Yes, he had that visionary dreaming element, but he
Yeah.
was also a builder, and he could really captivate other people's interest in his dream.
Yeah.
And get them on board, and that's what you have to do when you're a dreamer. You have to have a team working with you.
No, I agree.
So.
I agree. So how did the transition come to getting to Oregon? How did all that? How did we end up in? We were in Southern California. You were in upstate New York, and then somewhere along the way we got to Oregon.
Right. Well, I'd come back to California, and I'd gone to college in Southern California. Got my accounting degree down there, And I was around their family quite a bit, and I'd had my eye on Dwight for a good 10 years. So he was pretty much larger than life, and I couldn't imagine life with other people for the most part. But
Yeah.
I was just sort of watching him. He was so wild and had all these things going on. It wasn't like he was ready to settle down with me or anybody else at the time. But he ended up moving up to Oregon. His mother was from Oregon originally.
Okay.
And their family had sort of this long-term dream of kind of going back to Oregon, but they ended up being in Southern California for longer than
Right.
than they imagined. But when they got up there, I think he was one of the first ones to actually make the move and go back up there. And his younger sister had married someone from up there, and she had been up there for several years. So they had a lot of connections already. And so the dream was to kind of retire up there, and that's what happened.
Beautiful country up there.
Right. It's lovely. The Pacific Northwest is its own beauty. There's rugged mountains and lots of lakes and rivers, and of course there's high desert. Where we were in Bend, Oregon, was a lot of high desert. So you
Yeah.
have an interesting mix of sagebrush and farmland and irrigation canals all throughout the land to keep it watered. And then you've got the western side of Oregon, which is more lush and kind of like gray drizzle during the winters. And
Yeah.
it's got a lot of variety.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a big place for
Yeah.
It's a big place.
Lots of topography.
So how did the magic finally happen?
Which magic? Lots of magic.
Yeah, lots of magic. When did you and Dwight kind of become a thing?
Well, I'd moved up there after he moved up there, and their family moved up there, and I came out and visited one summer and got to work at a pizza shop that a couple of them were at, and I just had a lot of fun. And so when an opportunity opened up for me to move out there, I moved and lived with their family, actually.
Oh, okay.
So I was really close with their family.
Yeah,
I loved
I understand.
them. Kind of had to stalk Dwight too, and like stay around him, right?
Sure.
No, but it wasn't within a year of me moving up there that I felt like the Lord was just, I couldn't handle it anymore. I couldn't handle liking him and him not being interested in me. So I was sort of putting the brakes on and distance between us. And that was enough. At the same time, the Lord had been working in him.
Yeah.
Like, hey, she's pretty special. Why don't you take more notice?
Yeah.
So it was kind of a combo of me pushing him away and the Lord kind of drawing him towards me. And it happened.
He probably had a plan all along.
Strategy was always a thing.
He probably had a plan all along, I would say.
It was kind of funny because I questioned him for years after. I was a little more insecure and shy back then. And I questioned him. I was like, why did you pick me? Why? Like, you could have had anybody. Why me? And he's like, you're amazing. I love you.
Yeah.
He knew what he was doing.
He did. I know that for a fact. I know that. So how old were you guys when you finally became husband and wife?
A little older than a lot of our other friends. So I was 26.
26.
And he was 28.
Wow. Well, but,
Yeah.
there's a lot of maturity that happens between 20 and 28.
Yeah. Yeah.
Seriously. I've got teenagers, and you do too now. Lots of them. They get to it when you're a teenager, you know everything.
Right.
You know everything.
What and why not?
And
You've lived so long.
and then the 20s happen, and you get about mid-20s, and you go, wow, I'm still learning stuff.
Right.
So the maturity happens a little longer, and so you guys were quite mature, had things going on.
Well, it's interesting because like the Lord grew each of us individually as people, and when we came together, we had a lot of skill sets to bring, and a lot of things to bring into the marriage, which I would have loved to have gotten married earlier, and we could have grown together. My heart was always for marriage.
Yeah.
I was the last of my sisters to get married, so I was just like, oh, I just want to be a wife and a mom. I knew that was what the Lord had for me, but I kind of followed this other path that everybody else said I had to follow, which was, go to college and get a degree and make sure you have a backup plan if anything happens.
Yeah.
And, like whatever, but I just wanted to, I wanted to be alongside of a man. I knew that was God's plan for me, and I knew that, helping him fulfill his dreams and being a part of whatever God had for him was a gift and a blessing. And so
wow, and what a blessing.
I'm glad I waited.
Because how soon did Burnell come along? Burnell's the oldest.
Burnell is our oldest, yes.
Now how old is
and
Burnell now?
He's 21. He'll be
21.
22 in June.
What a great guy too.
He is a treasure.
He
I
is.
love that guy. It wasn't more than a month or two after we were married, and our first month, Dwight thought, "What's wrong with us? We can't get pregnant." But the next month, we were pregnant. So
So you both knew you wanted family immediately.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely, we wanted a large family. In fact, Dwight's brother Chad at our wedding, he toasted and he said, no more than 30 or something like that.
Now,
30 kids. That would be fun.
how many brothers and sisters did you have?
There were 6 kids in my family.
Six kids in your family.
I was the second of those 6 children, and then there were 8 children in Dwight's family.
And 8 in Dwight's.
He was
so,
number 5.
So y'all were used to big families.
Right. I thought 6 and 8 was a big family. Yeah. That was pretty normal
Yeah.
for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. And that I think there's a lot of that coming back.
The large families?
Yes.
We know several large families. I mean,
Yeah.
children are a blessing. It depends on how you were raised, kind of what your belief system around that is.
Sure.
But, there's this idea that you have to make a lot of money to afford a child or something like that, and then you have to put that child through college, and there's this huge expense associated with a child. And the reality is like children are such a gift and a blessing, and the more you have, I don't know, they wrote that book Cheaper by the Dozen.
Yes.
Certain things, there's economies of scale that go along. You want to be wise though. You don't want to be, we've seen families who have so many kids and they don't take care of them also. You don't want to go that end, but
Sure.
The children that are indeed a blessing, and they give a gift to you. They give gifts to one another. It's a blessing to grow up in that large family where
Sure.
there's so much rich relationships.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of opportunity for growth because you don't have the opportunity to be so self-centered when you're in a large family. You really have to stretch and serve
That's an
and
interesting
build.
thought.
Yeah, isn't
Yeah.
it?
Yeah. It is an interesting thought to have so many to be thought of.
Right.
Yeah. Everybody has to be considered.
Right. How's this going to serve the family? How is
Yeah.
this going to affect one another and the relationships? Relationships are worth everything, so
Yeah.
you do have to consider that in everything you
Absolutely.
do.
Absolutely. That's a wonderful thought too. I mean, it really, really is. And that's a testimony to the way you and both Dwight were raised.
Indeed. Yeah, Dwight
So-
has a wonderful family. I have a wonderful family, and our parents were very much loving people who loved others.
Yeah.
And relationships were a very
And love the
important
Lord.
piece. Absolutely.
And I'm sure the wisdom that comes with that, having instruction from God Himself on how families should be,
Right.
and what it's about.
Right. Well, God has a lot of instruction in His Word if we would take time to go spend a little bit of it there and
Absolutely.
seek Him. And I think this last year I've had more time with Dwight, having gone home to be with the Lord. It's drawn me closer to the Lord, and I've spent, how life sort of slows down when something like that happens.
Yeah.
The brakes get put on and life stops. And in those moments I've had hours to just spend with the Lord and talking, praying, reading His Word, journaling, reading books. It's just been very good to be reminded of there's a rich relationship there when you spend the time to invest in that relationship, as it is in any relationship. Like the more time you invest and spend,
Yeah.
the richer the fruit is of that friendship and relationship. But of course with our Lord and Savior,
Yes.
there's so much that He's blessed and given through that time.
What an example of faith that you have been, and your family, all the kids. When I was with you guys the other day, I was just so touched. Every one of them had to hug, and
Yeah.
and I love them all. And the little girls. Now I want you to name the boys right quick, and
Okay.
let's name the kids. So we start with Burnell,
Right.
who was.
We have 6 boys in a row.
And I
so
should say that
Burnell-
Burnell's named after his grandfather.
He is. Dwight's father is Burnell.
Yes.
And my oldest is named after him, yes.
Yeah. So there's Burnell,
We have Burnell, and then Orrin, Chance,
Chance,
Ty,
Ty,
Quint, Wyatt.
Wyatt,
So those are the oldest 6 boys. Then we had our first girl, Vienna,
Vienna,
and one more boy, Royal. and then 2 girls at the end. So we have Holly and Victoria.
Holly and Victoria.
Yes.
You know, I have it, Royal, the youngest boy.
Yeah.
He is so sweet.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And listen, we were, if you don't mind me telling, we were looking at a house.
Yeah, we were.
And the kids were, they were having such a great time. And I don't know, one of the older boys they were chasing with the youngest girl.
Yes.
They were chasing each other through the house and sliding in their socks. It
Yes.
was a lot of fun.
He was not in the car on the pre-house looking conversation that happened, which involved, don't run through the house, don't touch it. I was like, you guys they're a little bit unschooled and free wild child. I don't know. They love energy, and they're high energy, and they love experience and adventure. And so every opportunity is in wild adventure. So
well, I wasn't surprised by it at all, because my very first meeting with you guys, if you'll remember, we looked at a farm over in Giles County. And you guys arrived. You guys arrived on the bus.
Yes, we did.
And you were in the big RV.
Yep.
And all these kids started piling out. And this was my first meeting with you guys. And they started climbing trees right out of they just went up every tree that could go. And there was kids everywhere.
I know, I remember that. Well, it was our first time out here, and I'd fallen in love with the area, and Dwight had fallen in love with it as well. We'd already moved Ben Soap out, and it was our first year of shipping here from Tennessee. But we just loved it so much, we thought, well, we might as well look for property while we're here, and maybe spend some more time out here and live here. And so yeah, that property, they'd been cooped up for a while, for one. But they just, anything is fun. And anything is an adventure. So yeah,
well, they're such a wonderful, loving bunch of kids, just and so well grounded. So you've done such an awesome job.
Oh, thank you.
Kids. I want to back up a little bit, because I want to go back to Oregon, okay? And you guys are now married. Burnell is born, and more on the way.
Yeah.
They're all coming sooner or later.
Yes, we had 6 children in 6 years.
So what were y'all doing? What were y'all doing before the Ben Soap Company? What was just Dwight was just into whatever?
Right. Well, he had done all those shows in the past, and then he'd sort of retired up in Oregon. And at the young age of 28, right, he'd sort of retired.
Yeah.
In terms of, he wasn't showing up at a job anymore. He was trying to figure out what he wanted to do long term. And I think it was I wish I would have known and appreciated how awesome he was at that time. I knew he was pretty amazing, but when I really look back, the forethought and the way of strategically strategizing about his life was really incredible. Mm-hmm. He really took time that first year that we were married to say, what do I want to be long term? How do I want to invest my time? How do I get to be there for my children and have time for them? And so he was looking at things that he could do that would build residual income.
Yes.
And that would give him time, freedom, and creativity.
Sure.
And so he'd done nutrition for a while and sell nutrition, and we had residual income from that and much blessing from that. And I was supported nutritionally through all my pregnancies, which was a gift. So, I don't talk about that much, but it was a big part of our life. And then he was working on real estate. He loved the idea of building, and he had a few homes that he was working on with a builder, where he could build some sweat equity into it by doing the dirt work and the push out and the septic and a few of those projects, and he could build the equity in there. And so he had bought a few lots and was working on that. But it wasn't too long into our marriage, maybe 2 years, that he decided that it was time to get goats. And this was a new thing for me. We'd never talked about this before, but in his earlier years, this was something that had come to his mind and had been at the forefront, where he thought goats and goat milk was really good for him and his family. And so he had it in his mind that he wanted to have goats. Okay. Well, we'd never talked about this. So all of a sudden, I have 2 babies, and we need goat milk somehow. So we bought a few goats from a local gal who he ended up working with the gal at the county due to all the real estate.
Sure.
And she ended up raising goats, and she sold us our first goats. And he went and got his first and only job in our entirety of our marriage. He wanted to go milk goats at this farm. There was this dairy farm. He made cheese. He was a French cheesemaker. And Dwight thought, well, this is fascinating. I want to go see what it's like. So he applied and got a job.
Wow.
As a goat milker.
Okay.
And so he learned the whole process of how they milk goats twice a day and how they made the cheese. And he was fascinated by the whole process. And that was the start of our goat dairy.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, and at that point we were kind of moving, we had real estate we were working on, but we were kind of moving into this homestead lifestyle of raising beef and pigs and
Kind of becoming independent.
chickens. Exactly, where there was enough need for good nourishment and good nutrition, and he was starting to see how valuable that was.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you're just buying it from the store and you don't know what you're getting.
Sure.
So he wanted to dabble in that. He wanted to learn.
Yeah.
And we had a couple acres, so we were kind of experimenting with that. But yeah, goats, real estate, goats, the farming, all of that was in the middle of all of it. And of course, he would go over and work on his father's property a lot. And they had a whole property where there was a lot of farming to do. They put up hay every year, twice a year, sometimes 3 times. And there was a lot of projects over there. We were building fences and expanding land and
It sounds
development.
It sounds so busy.
It was very busy, but it was exciting.
Yeah.
Anything we did was fun. Dwight made everything fun.
So how far apart the kids began to
Arrive.
the family growing,
Yep.
and at some point you got the dairy going.
Yep.
So when did the soap come into play?
Well, we had maybe 4 children at the time, 4 or 5 children at the time. And we had moved onto my father-in-law's property. So Dwight was sort of caretaking for the property and doing all the farming and building the fence. And he'd invested a lot at that time. And so we moved over there temporarily while we sold another place. And we were looking for another place to live. But it ended up being very long-term, and we ended up buying that property down the road. But that's where the dairy kind of took off. And we had over 100 goats at one time.
Okay.
And goat milk, goat milk is such a fascinating thing, and Dwight was very excited about goat milk.
Okay. Well,
And
tell
let
me
me tell
why.
you why.
I'm a little bit blind on that. I'm not
Because
sure.
this leads into the whole Ben Soap story. Goat milk it has natural enzymes and properties that they're fascinating for the skin, but I don't think we were really even focusing on that back then. It was more about the nutrient content as compared to cow milk.
Okay.
Or even breast milk. So we had several babies, and at certain points they wanted to keep nursing, and my milk was all dried up. So
Okay.
we would give them goat milk. And fresh goat milk is very similar to a mother's breast milk. So the nutrient content is very similar. That's high in vitamin A, delicate enzymes that are great for digestion. And the fat molecules are very similar, and the fat content is very similar, because you think of a goat being raised to full term is about, 150 to 200 pound goat.
Mm-hmm.
Where cow milk, a full grown cow is over 1,000 pounds, so
Sure.
the fat content and the nutrient structure of the milk is very different, because you're raising different species of animals. Sure. So the goats being very similar to human milk was very desirable, especially with that fat molecule. And so goat milk is very digestible for a baby. It's very, it's got all those enzymes, the fat molecules are about the right size, and so it's super digestible. And it just makes a really great, a lot of people that can't tolerate cow milk can tolerate goat milk. Sure. Because it's easier on
just more
on
compatible
the
to the human being.
Absolutely. Also, if you have allergies to cow milk, you often don't have allergies to goat milk. So it's a great, we call it liquid gold. And I'm not doing it justice right now because I don't have notes in front of me. But all this stuff that you're like, oh yeah, it's good for you. But
that's all I need to know.
There you go.
That's all I need to know.
So the goat milk was a big deal, and we felt like we had liquid gold, and all of our children were drinking all this milk. And we had 4 or 5 kids at the time, so we drank several gallons of milk a day. And I would turn it into kefir. Kefir is amazing. You put kefir grains in fresh raw goat milk. So good for you. It's got high bacterial, like acidophilus and the lactobacilli, the good stuff for your gut. So we would make goat milk yogurt. You could just put it on the counter, fresh right out of the goat. You just put it on the counter with some cultures in it. Now you've got yogurt. It's just really good.
A lot of stuff that I don't know.
Yeah. But good for you. So you think about going back to the farm and that homesteading thing. Yes. That's what we were doing. And the benefits of it are really off the charts, because you think of what you're avoiding toxin-wise. Yeah. And the milk that you buy in the store has been homogenized and pasteurized.
Yep.
So pasteurization meaning it's been heated so that all the delicate nutrients and enzymes are killed along with any bad bacteria
Sure.
potentially. And you know, large organizations have more bacteria, but the homogenization is a unique experience as well because the fat molecules are sort of shattered and processed in such a way where they're not absorbed as well, or they do damage to the gut lining. So that could actually be a dangerous thing to give your body long term, or even short term.
What I'm picking up on here is you guys really educated yourself in this product world. And you and Dwight knew what you were doing with this goat milk. You learned all the ins and outs, you learned the benefits, what you do, what you don't do.
For sure. He was way more even than I am. Fascinated. He was fascinated with information and loved learning. So, yes.
Yeah.
It's a big deal.
Yeah.
All that we learned was a big deal.
I
It made
can
us
tell.
like, we're not going to touch anything else.
So that was a life changer.
It sure was. Yeah.
It's a life changer.
Even raising your own beef and that kind of thing on the farm and your own chickens, and you know where everything's coming from.
Yeah, so a holistic type lifestyle, life on the farm, everything's good.
Right.
But then one of the kids got a problem with some skin.
Right. Well, this was back in the day before we did everything holistically. We didn't really do a whole lot medically at that time, but we did have a bug go through our family, and it was one of those bugs that just got in the chest and in the ears, and then the goop was coming out the eyes, and you're just like, what is this mucus infecting thing that's destroying all of us? And all the kids got it at once. Of course, they're all little, so I had several little ones.
Oh my.
And it was one that I couldn't really deal with. We didn't have any essential oils back then. Like nowadays, I would give them lots of essential oils and way more garlic than I did. You know, I have all these tools now that I could fight bugs with, and we don't get as much anymore. But back then, it was enough to where we got a couple rounds of antibiotics. And I think that was the clincher for my little guy. It just destroyed his gut. And so one of my children got really bad irritation, skin rash, itching, dry, scratching till he bled.
Oh my.
Horrible, what we would have called something like eczema. I don't know if we can actually diagnose or, you know, the doctors that looked at it said, you know, this is pretty bad, but there's not a whole lot you can do other than these steroid creams and topical things, and they gave us all sorts of stuff, but he might just have to grow out of it, or he might have it for the rest of his life.
Oh wow.
So it's kind of hopeless if you get it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And what we know today is that kind of a symptom and that kind of a problem is very much digestive related, but it's hard to fix digestively because it's so on your skin. The symptoms are so prominent on the skin.
Okay.
So you do want to do things topically, but your options are limited to lotions and creams for the most part.
Right. Right.
And believe it or not, there's a lot of other things out there that are suggested as remedies, including taking a bath in bleach water in case it's a fungus to like kill all the bacteria on it. So can you imagine soaking your child in bleach water?
I don't think so.
The other alternatives are like soaking in a bath full of oatmeal, which
I've heard of that.
totally clogs the drain
Yes.
and makes a bath a royal mess.
I bet.
But oatmeal is supposed to have those moisturizing properties, especially colloidal oatmeal and stuff like that. But of course, the application of this is horrible.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we tried it all, and we did everything. And then the lotions that we would put on there because his skin was so dry and raw. Of course, all these lotions we didn't know at the time had alcohol, which is very common in lotion, and the alcohol would just sting and burn.
Bless his heart.
Most
Goodness
lotions are
gracious.
full of preservatives, so you've just got chemical reactions going on. And he was in misery. He was our third born Chance, and he was about 3 or 4 years old. We don't remember how old exactly, but it was traumatizing for him. It was traumatizing for us as parents. You feel like,
what can you do?
Yeah, you just watch your child suffer, and he only had it on his legs. I've seen babies with eczema and rashes all over their entire bodies, and you just think,
Bless her heart.
you just watch your child suffering is just so traumatic.
But you guys come up with a cure almost.
Well, Dwight, he hit the books, he hit the information channels, and he researched a lot.
Yeah.
to try and find out what is
Yeah.
wrong and what could help.
Yeah.
And, you know, he would never say this himself, but he's a total nerd. And he loves learning. He would spend hours just learning. And what he came out of that was the skin is the body's largest organ.
Yeah.
And I think we all know that today. But back in the day, the skin was considered to be a protective barrier,
Yeah.
which of course it is in some ways.
Yeah.
But a protective barrier in so much that you could put anything on your skin and it's not going to do anything to the inside of your body because it's more of a barrier.
Right.
But that's not the case.
No.
With the skin being the body's largest organ, it actually absorbs everything that goes on the skin and even faster than a normal scenario. So medically right now, they will give you a topical medication because it goes into your bloodstream like that.
Sure.
So it's a very effective way to administer drugs because of the effectiveness of it.
Right.
Now, if you look at that with soap or any other thing that you're putting on your skin or the lotions or whatever, now you're not looking at it as like, oh, this is just going to affect my skin. No, whatever you put is going right into your bloodstream. So now you have to be aware way more intensely of like, I don't want to put anything on there that's bad for my body
Sure.
because it's going to go right in.
And it does.
And it does.
Yeah.
So I think that was the first thing he found that was really fascinating. And we immediately started looking at, what are we using? What's in our showers? What's in our bathrooms?
Yeah.
What could possibly be irritating Chance's skin?
Right. Right.
And any of us. You know, like we didn't have any issues, but he did. So we looked at everything we had and oh man, our hearts just sunk. We were just shocked at what we were using. Like the typical stuff you would buy in the grocery store, you know, buy it in the 4 or the 6 pack, you know, for bulk savings.
Sure.
But you look at the labels on all these products and it is disgusting. And you've got propylene glycol, which is a major ingredient in most soaps and products that you would put on your skin, which is a petroleum-based product.
Sure.
Petroleum is from like gasoline and other sources. Oh,
Yeah.
and you're putting that on our skin. And then preservatives, and then you've got the fragrances, which are full of chemicals, and then you've got dyes.
Yeah.
And every single thing had to have a color. A pretty color, a blue or a red or a pink.
Sure.
And those are yellow dyes, blue dyes, red dyes. Everything is linked to cancer of some sort. It's toxic to the body. So then it's getting right into your bloodstream, damaging your liver, damaging your organs, making your body work overtime if you're healthy to try and get rid of these toxins. I mean, we're just dumping our children in a bath of sewage is what we realized.
Wow.
And Dwight would use the analogy. He was like, you wouldn't really give your kids cigarettes to smoke. You would be considered a bad parent for doing that, right?
Yes.
But we'll put our kids in the bathtub with the sewage and the toxins and the poisons. We're bad parents for doing that, you know? It was just sort of an eye-opener. Not to traumatize or, you know, blame any of us or any
Sure.
of that do this.
No. But we're used to the convenience of those soaps that we buy all over the, you know, the stores, and we got our favorites, you know, and all that kind of stuff, and we've been using them for years, and a lot of people have no problems, but some people do.
Right. Well, and some people don't now, but they might later.
They might later.
Don't realize what they're using will contribute to something.
That's right.
Well, it was a big eye-opener.
So you created a better soap.
Sure did.
And thus the bin soap companies. I want to get to that pretty quickly, so we're.
Oh, we do. Okay.
We got to
you told me to talk a long time, so I'm
we're
talking.
good. We're good. But we've got the soap.
We do. So in his research, he was looking for ingredients that would heal the skin. That would, you can't always say treat and heal. So I'm going to go back. But that would just nourish and feed and really benefit the skin.
Yeah.
And do that instead of destroy it or toxify it. And so he found a couple really good oils that are great, full of high nutrients, full of vitamin E, lactic acid, vitamin A, those kind of things. Sorry, the goat milk is high in lactic acid.
Yep.
So that was the thing that he also found. Goat milk was super beneficial for the skin. And we'd never thought of that. We always drank it like liquid gold. We never thought, make soap out of our milk. But we did.
But this wasn't a business idea. You were doing this just to help your son with his problems. So you made this homemade soap, and did it work?
It sure did.
Yeah.
When he made the first batch, of course, we had to wait for like a month for it to cure.
Yeah.
Because you need a hard bar, and
yeah.
So we waited, and then when we used it, we tried washing him in it, and the first bath, his skin came out way less red. It was instantaneous.
Oh wow.
And then we just decided to kind of give him more baths, and every time his skin just got better and better and better. It was just better within a week or two. It was gone.
Wow.
It was literally miraculous.
Yeah.
And they tell you if you have skin issues like that, don't take a lot of baths and don't shower because it's going to dry your skin out.
Sure.
And here he was getting better and better. So it was fascinating how quickly it worked. And then we would use the soap too because we're like, this worked for him.
And then people begin to understand that y'all were making this and wanted it.
For sure. Yeah.
So this is how it started to grow.
Right. Well, it did start with helping with his skin condition. And so a lot of people find us because they have a skin condition. They've got dry, itchy skin. They've got certain issues. But a lot of people find it because they're looking for something very clean. You know, and the proof and the power of the goat milk proves that it's good for the rest of us as well. And so if you want non-toxic clean products, it's going to work for you too. And if it's gentle enough for babies, gentle enough for that, then it's gentle enough for your skin.
Awesome,
So,
awesome.
yes, people all over have definitely found a lot of relief. And we have hundreds and thousands of reviews and stories of people that have just
Well, I'm
had
using
great
it.
success.
I use it.
Well, good.
I love it. It's fantastic. I even wash my hair with the bar. I mean, it's everything.
Yes.
It's,
Yeah.
I don't use anything else. It's
Yeah, and
awesome.
if you didn't have a beard, you could shave with it too.
In fact, under here I do. I have a little area here where I do shave. So
Yeah.
yes, I shave
Yeah.
with it. I use it instead of anything else.
Well, thank
It's
you.
pretty
Good.
doggone awesome. We love it.
Yeah.
In fact, we got a gift box the other day at a benefit auction from you guys.
Yay.
And Tracy ended up buying it, and it's got a little bit of everything in it. So it's sitting on our bathroom counter now. But anyway, I want to get to the move to
Okay.
Lawrenceburg, the move to Tennessee.
Yeah.
And so Dwight had decided to leave Bend, Oregon, and he told me himself, you know, the kind of the struggle with some of the powers that be out there that don't want to goat farm there for some reason, and so we did. We wanted one here, so we wanted the company here. Tell us about that just a little bit.
Right. Well, there are some restrictive laws there that became more and more restrictive. And having a farm on your property and selling goat milk and soap, you would think that they would be really open to that. But they weren't so much in rural areas. They wanted a more and more restriction. And so you had to do things within city limits. And it just proved impossible for us. So when Dwight came out here, and we had already planned, and he was looking for years for another place for Ben Soap, for a shipping location.
Okay.
Not necessarily for our whole family.
Yeah.
But the shipping was a big deal because we had so many customers on the East Coast. So he'd looked for years all over Kentucky and up in Nashville. And
Okay.
When he came down this way, he had met Blake, the mayor
Yep.
here in
Yep.
Lawrenceburg, and brought him down. And it was almost like arms wide open, like, come, we'd love your business. We'd
Yeah.
love to help make your dreams come true.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow, that was like, it was so night and day for Dwight. He was so ecstatic. And
Yeah.
it really was a great fit. We just feel like the Lord brought us here for those
Yeah.
reasons. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, it's been good for me personally, just from a friendship point of view, for you guys, and especially my friendship with Dwight. So you guys moved here, got the store up and running, the plant up and running, which was a big ordeal. I remember it took a while to get that going.
Right.
And the employees had to be either hired or brought in.
Right. Several people came out with us, and
Yeah.
we hired a lot of new
And for
people.
those who don't know, the Ben soap manufacturing now is taking place what is most of us knew as the old Bob Surplus building. And so Dwight bought that property and then the property in front of that property,
Correct.
all of that area right there, which by the way has a new store in it.
Yes, Fashion Exchange. They're
Yeah.
opening this week, actually.
Pardon me. But anyway, so that began to happen, and I got to go in there a time or two and see the operation. It's pretty fascinating.
Right. So there was a lot of renovation to get there, but it's up and running. It's been going for a while now. We've had tours for the last couple of years, and we've had amazing turnout from groups all over the state come down from Nashville and everywhere else, and
Yeah.
really enjoy looking at how the soap is made. And it's fun for homeschoolers too. You know, you get to see the fascinating, you go from oils and milk to something that you can use for the rest of your life. So
Yeah,
it's a
it's pretty
fun
awesome.
experience.
You've got lotions.
Certainly do.
You've got lotions and soap.
Yep.
And I've got my favorites. And you know what's funny is my wife is just had just a little bit of a skin problem that's come up, and she started using this, so it's going to help her, I think.
Absolutely. So we started with the goat milk soap, and then we shred it to turn it. We shred some of the scraps to turn into our milk bath. So if you like to take baths, it's really, really good to soak in the soap. It turns the bath like a milky white, and it is very softening for the skin. So the bath is a great way, especially for kids, if you always put kids in the bath. So we've got the soap, the milk bath, the lotion, lip butters, deodorant, salves, and we have a new product coming out. It's a secret. It'll be coming out with the Mother's Day bundle.
Oh,
Can't
wow.
tell you what it is. It's a new product line. We're really excited about it. We just launched liquid soap this last year too.
I heard about that.
Yeah, it's all a hit, and it's all good.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all fantastic.
Yeah.
You will love it if you try it, I promise. And you can get it here retail now because you guys have a store.
Sure do.
Right off the square, the old Ledbetter's building, the back part there, the Ledbetter's building on North Military, just off the square, the Ben Soap Company right there.
That's right, and I'm really excited to tell this whole community here in Lawrenceburg, we were pleased to be able to use a lot of the furniture from that Ledbetter building, those beautiful old apothecary looking bookcases and those internal ones, and the back counter. It's all furniture from the Ledbetter building that we were able to refinish.
Such a great looking shop. It really is.
It's beautiful. Yeah, you're gonna love it.
Yeah, it's a great. It has an old-fashioned feel to it. And
right.
It's just so nice.
Old-fashioned but modern.
Old-fashioned but modern.
And whether you have a skin issue or not, of course, a lot of people find us because of their skin issues. But that proves the benefit of the products. But it's so good for everybody else. So
really
our
is.
entire family uses it, and there's only one person that has a skin issue.
Yeah.
But it's great for everything.
Well, listen, I want to talk a little bit about Dwight and the love that I had for him and my friendship with him. We did some business together, obviously. That was what kind of put us together to start with. He bought several properties, which you still own, several of those. Just moved the carriage house. Someone's going to take it on the square.
Yeah.
So that's good. And then, but we've got a couple of other homes that we want to talk about in just a minute. He bought a couple of homes on Pulaski Street, the big antebellum homes there. We've got a couple of those. You've got your hands full.
Sure do. He was a builder and a dreamer. So he came here. We have a video of him saying, "Go big or stay home." We went big. Yeah. He did. He loved this town. He loved seeing the potential and the opportunity and the growth that was happening. He could feel it. He could sense the energy, and he just was like ecstatic to be a part of that growth.
And he was creating a lot of energy.
Oh, yeah.
He was creating a lot of that energy too. So,
yeah.
So, but you know, the Lord had a different plan. And Dwight, a little more than a year ago, was taken home to be with the Lord. What a, you know, it was such a blow to us, and I know to you and your family. But you guys have exercised such great faith. You're such an inspiration, and I love you all.
Thank you. The Lord is good, and we know His plans are bigger than our understanding sometimes. But I think you just kind of, because we're so part of so much with Him, and His vision was so deep in us, you just keep building and doing what He would have done, and stewarding what He started, and you know, fulfilling the dreams and visions that He had. But the Lord has different plans for us long term. I'm sure we don't know what those are. No. But He's been faithful, and He's faithful to everybody. Yeah. If they seek Him and they love Him and they know Him, He's faithful. And I know that something as tragic of this, of just losing Him, was just astronomically the worst thing that's ever happened to us. Oh. But there's such a silver lining in God's faithfulness and Him drawing so close and teaching us things through this process. Each one individually of our children, I've seen so many different growth and opportunities for them to experience things that they wouldn't have been experiencing. And the Lord's close to us.
Close to us.
Yeah. And we don't have any reason to not trust Him or believe in Him. Or even question, like, what are you doing? Why? It's not a matter of that. And I don't have any anger towards the Lord. I have wondered, what's next? What's your plan for me? Because I was following a man. And now I don't have Him to follow anymore. But I still want to be faithful to Him here on earth. Proverbs 31 says she does Him good, not harm, all the days of her life. And I'm still alive, so I have to be very faithful to that.
Well, it's evident that you are. It's totally evident that you are, because I will tell you, when we met the other day, and all your family was there, we look at this property, and I watched the kids. They are so close. They are so close to each other.
Yeah. it's a beautiful thing. It's a gift. And we've grown closer together for sure. And closer to this community. The community has been such a gift. You've been a friend. There have been so many people here that have been friends to us and close, even though we're brand new to the area, you know. We feel like we've known everyone for years. But we have the Lord as our friend as well. And yeah, God's not done with whatever he's got going on here.
Not
And
at all.
it's just begun in a lot of ways. What Dwight started in all of us has grown in a lot of ways. It's interesting because it almost grew bigger when he died. It's just weird.
You know, that's
Something grew bigger. Something drew us all close together and made it extra special.
it's tremendous how God can take something that is so hard and make something good.
Yeah.
We may not see it on the front end, may not see it right immediately, but it's becoming more and more evident that God's in complete control and has us in his hand, and all things are working together for good for those who love the Lord, to call according to his purpose. Your children are beautiful. Every one of them
They are.
just wonderful, beautiful, and they're so close to one another. I watch them interact with each other and just loved on each other. And I can't imagine how proud you must be of them all.
I am. You know, it's interesting to watch Dwight in each one of my sons.
Yeah,
He's there in such big ways.
yeah,
And in my daughters too.
Yeah.
Vienna is just a little Dwight in her own way. But the boys are tender towards their little sisters and brothers. They're very conscientious of the fact that those little ones don't get to grow up with a daddy anymore.
yeah,
And they take that to heart.
Yeah.
And they're sweet with them.
yeah, absolutely are. Absolutely are. Well, you know, it's a testimony to you and Dwight, how you have instilled in them a great sense of responsibility for each other, and just doing what they should do. I see it every time I'm with any of them. In fact, after I was with you guys the other day, I was driving back around the square, and there they were working at the Ledbetter building. That's still a process. That's still going on. So
Right.
something good's going to happen there yet.
We're cleaning it out, getting ready for an ice cream shop, Lord willing.
Isn't that great? I think everybody wants that. Everybody's always wanted that.
That's what we've heard, so we're here to make dreams come true, I
Yeah.
guess.
Everybody wants that, and so the.
But good ice cream. It's going to be good ice cream.
I can't wait. I can't wait. Marilee Johnson, you guys have just got so much going on. I'm so proud of you. So proud of you and your family, and so proud to know you, proud to be associated with you.
Wow, thank you.
Yeah, it's just been awesome. And your family too, your mom, dad, and Dwight's dad, when he comes and visits, it's always something special.
He was just out here recently, and my parents, believe it or not, are hoping to move here. They've fell in love with this area too.
Yeah, have they found a spot yet?
No, not yet. They're just sort of
Still looking?
gonna chill for a little bit.
Yeah. Well, I need to follow up with them.
Yeah,
So-
well, their house is in the market in
Yeah.
Colorado. They're planning the move.
Okay.
Yeah.
I knew they were. Well, we only got about a minute left. What would you like to leave us with? Is there something that you can tell us about your special product?
Oh, no, that one's a secret.
No,
You'll
it's a
get more
secret.
stuff coming out. It's a new product line. It's a new ingredient that we're adding to the entire family of ingredients that we've been using because it's a good one. So I think you'll be excited about it. But now I think what I'd love to leave the whole community is a gratitude and a love for everybody.
Yeah.
And I know Dwight would be proud of them too. He would be proud of everybody and what the Lord started here.
Yeah.
And I know he's excited about whatever God has for him up there.
Well,
And
we shall meet him again, no doubt. We'll
Yeah.
see him again.
yeah.
Thank you for coming in.
Yeah.
I
good to
appreciate
be
it. It was
here.
kind of
Thanks
short
for having
notice.
me.
And we'll have you back again sometime.
Well, thanks. I
All right,
brought you a bar of
especially-
soap.
Did you?
Yeah.
Yes. If
You gotta have
know
your
the
own.
Ben, you don't know the Ben, so isn't that citrus mint? That's nice.
That's right. It's a new
Very nice.
spring scent coming out.
Oh, nice. Very. Listen, this is good stuff. go to the store, and in fact, you can do it online too.
Sure can.
bensoap.com. Is that right?
That's right.
That's where the bulk of the business is really, they don't have a lot of retails. You just got the one special one right here in Lawrenceburg. So
That's right.
very, very good.
Yeah, come see us.
All right. See you next time. We did it. Right on time.
We're just getting started.
We knew you
I'm
would.
Dave Anthony.